Welcome back, tankers of this universe, to a Warhammer 40.000 McGregor's Thunder preview video. We will be driving the Predator Ultramarines tank adorned here in Imperial Fists camouflage and the Vindicator on the battlefield against bots, obviously, but it gives you an overview of what these tanks are capable of. So without any further ado, let's get into the gameplay. And the first thing I noticed when we were driving up on Copperfield, as you can see here, was the fact that this tank had, well, poorish gun depression. I think it's around 5 degrees, not more. And because it's, yeah, obviously, it's a box with a turret in the middle, you have a bit of hull to cover to point over. The other tanks with mid-mounted or rear-mounted turrets have practically the same problem. So yeah, that isn't good to begin with. I like to have gun depression on my tanks. What is good, however, is the gun. It's a triple shot 80mm autoloader. They have called it the Autocannon Mark 4B. Does 180 alpha on standard rounds. Good penetration values as shown here on screen. Nice, decent aim time, 1.5 seconds reload between shots. And as you have 180 alpha on your standard rounds, you can bring 540 alpha to the front line fairly quick, and then drive back into cover to cover you from shots during your 12-second reload of the entire clip. The front of the tank is armored with 130mm. It has a slightly angled back, so you will be able to bounce a fair few shots, as will be shown here. There's one, and there's going to be another one there. And against the tier 6 guns of this world, you will, present quite a formidable armor profile, in my opinion. The turret has 150mm at the front in terms of armor, but you can also see that the tier 7 guns and tier 6 guns that these tanks are using, they are shooting center mass, so they're shooting my front plate, ignoring all the weak spots, but they go through my sights with these, no problem whatsoever. So let's take a look at what will happen if you drive around and completely ignore cover and get shot from multiple angles by tanks at your weak sites. And here it is then. We drove around onto Fort Despair, McGregor's Thunder. It's going to be in the update, the new map. And I was driving around over here thinking, okay, this SU-152 will burn to death. Then again, he doesn't. Pounds a 640 alpha shot, don't know where. Probably on an angled front plate. But you can see that you will start losing health on the left and the right side of the tank if enemies have a clear field of fire onto your tank. And you're not the quickest one on the planet, to be honest. I mean, it's, well, fairly nippy. It isn't really, really slow, but it doesn't really turn that quick. And you can see I'm driving in, and once you overextend, then you get shot in the side. And Panthers will have no problem whatsoever panning those sides. That's of course to be expected of a tier 7 medium on the sides. But then again, most of the frontal armor is good. That's why your armor is. You have an autoloader, but you are not a frontline tank for the first part of the game. So how to play this thing then? Well, I think you should go towards the front, second line, probably with your teammates. You are probably too slow to relocate quickly, but you do have a triple shot autoloader, so get that gun into the front line and help your teammates. Block a choke point, and then just wait it out. Don't be charging in forward, because you have that long reload on that auto-loading clip. But if you can manage to drive around and really wreak havoc, then it's a good thing, because you can track tanks into place and then shoot them some more, and again to really keep them locked in, and then you can take cover and wait for your clip to reload. And once that's all done and dusted, you are a viable force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Yeah, so much for the Predator. Ultramarines. Let's take a look at the next one in line, the big derpy Vindicator And with this, the Vindicator, you get practically, well, yeah, you get the same box on tracks, but without a turret you do get a dozer blade in front, and you get a very derpy, really big 640 alpha gun. A few key things to take into account already is the fact that this one fires heat and HE. And the penetration on the standard heat isn't brilliant. To be honest, against tier 7 it's good, but against tier 8 you can see there's an angled front plate of a T44 and that has a good angle, so yeah, to be expected that it isn't going to be a really good shot. But it lacks, it's lacking, that standard round is lacking, but the other heat, the premium heat, that's very good, but that of course does less damage, so you will have to be wary of shooting around on that one. Then again, you have a nice dub gun, you do have the same size that are very vulnerable, but you have a dub gun, so your HE shell does a whopping 900 damage if you manage if you manage to hit the target. But yeah, it can be a good gun, but like I said, subpar, yeah, it's not even average, subpar penetration on your standard heat rounds, a good penetration on your premium heat for less damage, and a really big nice alpha shot on the HE. But it is of course heat and HE, so that has problems against space, because yeah, heat gets eaten by space armor, and you can see another issue of this tank over here, and that is the gun depression. You have that big dozer blade in front, and that has repercussions on how you can use the gun. And you can see also I have to fire standard heat on the tank on that further down to the lower glasses plate, or use premium heat, so that is going to be an issue. And here you can see a bit of the gun depression. You really have to go hold down, and then you will be able to shoot tanks using the gun depression. But yeah, it's a good gun. It's like the SU 152 at tier 7, very big, very derpy, but at least the SU has AP for standard rounds. And newer or less experienced players may think that yeah, having 2 heat rounds and then a big derpy HE shell with 900 average alpha damage will allow you to use this 155mm Demolisher Mark IVe to basically chew through everything. But you will see IS-3s like this one being a tier 7 tank destroyer, and an IS-3 has a lot of spaced armor on both of its sides, so you have to know where to aim and hit him. You do have a very big gun, so if you can hit engine decks or EMRS or whatever, then you can do a lot of module damage, which is a good thing. But this tank, like the SU 152 we're seeing over there, it needs some care in driving around. It is a big tank, it can do a lot of damage, but it's not really guaranteed. So yeah, this is basically it. The preview, a bit more in terms of preview and a bit more on how to play these tanks of the Warhammer 40k tanks, McGregor's Thunder, the Predator, the Vindicator. There will be a World of Tanks Blitz very soon. And on this little bombshell we leave you for today. Thank you all, kaboom, for all the support. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and stay tuned for more updates, gameplays and reviews. Cheers lads, happy tanking!